What's up, players? This is Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and right now we're getting ready to have a six-pack challenge match with Potsy and Tino on the big podcast show. Holla at a player.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pants Network brings to you as tag team champions of the world, Daddy Ass, Tino Gray, the Road Dog, Rob Potsy Podchak.
You're ass boy then.
No, I said I'm Road Dog. So I'm a VP at WWE. You are still in the prime of your career, Daddy Ass.
No.
If Terrence was here, he would do it. He would do it. We have it. So anyways, the Potsy and Tino show. That's right, folks. Our theme song is always brought to you by Adam's Housecast called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents until this guy decides he actually wants to write and produce a theme song for us. Am I right?
Yeah.
So Tino, you're getting ready to drink something called Angel's Envy. This is made.
It smells like rubbing alcohol.
This is made in Kentucky, where the best bourbon is made, sir. And I didn't give you a lot.
It is colored.
This is one of the new bottles that goes on top of the fridge, so we only drink it on special occasions.
That's what you asked me if I had a chaser.
If you need one. All right. So, Tino, we had Christmas last week.
Mm-hmm.
And we always start the show with a little segment called What's Up With You?
Christmas.
Well, we had a special guest at your Christmas party this year.
We already talked about that. That was like last week.
Was it?
Yeah,
Really?
we already talked about that.
So the fact that Mark,
Yeah,
okay.
we already talked about that.
Yeah, we already talked about that.
Talked about that last week.
Did you get anything cool for Christmas?
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff I want. I got Call of Duty and the Avengers game, which is pretty cool.
You got Call of Duty on PlayStation?
Yeah. And then
Can you play PlayStation 5 people on it?
I don't know, but it said that I guess some of my friends I can invite you to play, so we'll try it.
I mean, because
yeah, you get the new one.
So I was gifted a copy of it.
Yeah, so I got that and Madden 23, so I'm playing that. It's kind of cool. And just cologne, sweatshirt, Haley.
Cologne.
Yeah, so I'm a cologne fiend. Hats and colognes are my thing. So then every year they get me cologne. So this is older hat because it matched my ensemble.
So is the cologne thing something you started or someone else started?
No, I started because I collect cologne.
Well, the reason why I ask is because I tend to think if a woman gives you cologne, she's basically saying, "Hey."
No, that's something I started.
Okay.
I got a collection of colognes, and so I'll get low, or Nicole will see something that she thinks I like, or the kids will see something they think I like, and they'll just add my.
Because I typically don't wear cologne, but yet anytime I seem to give a woman a hug,
mm-hmm.
I typically get the, "Oh, you smell good."
I get it all the time because I'm.
Well, like I said, I typically get the "you smell good," and I'm like, "Well, I hope so."
Yeah.
It's sad that I don't know how to respond to, "Hey, you smell good." Oh, well, I took a shower.
That's usually what I do. I took a shower. I know it's not Saturday, but I took a shower.
I know it's not. Well, that's with your wife.
Yeah. I'll tell you the people at church too. Like, "You smell good." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take a shower." I know no one's Saturdays my bad days, but
yeah, but church is Sunday.
Yeah. No, but I know because I shower. I shower 3 times a day.
And I've told you I'm actually allergic to my own sweat. So
I've always been a bigger guy. I don't want to be the big stinky guy. So I'm that's why I'm very conscious of showering, and that's why I started the cologne thing because I never want to be the stinky guy. So I'll shower and
interestingly on that statement, and I'm probably going to offend people, and I really don't care. What's up, Chris Barrett? No. A lot of people sit there, some people just have bad breath all the time. I purposely had 2 teeth removed because they were corroded and everything else. And
that's why I always have gum or mint. Well, the
yes.
mint thing started when I stopped smoking. I always had to have.
You always had to have something in your mouth
so
because
then I'm like, well, I like to smoke, so I have gum or mint in my car at all times or on my person somewhere.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. I hate if all of a sudden I go.
Yeah.
So I always have gum in the car.
Yeah.
And I mean, like sometimes it's one piece,
sometimes like 3 or 4.
Sometimes I'm like, all right, we're gonna, and I'll be like, and I'll look like the third base coach of a baseball team who just has like that jaw, like whatever. But I'll be like, at least my breath smells good, So you got cologne. Did you get a hat?
Yeah, Nicole did get me because I said I got a Giants hat. She got me a Giants hat and a nice Yankees hat. But she got it from the Lids, so she didn't know what size I kind of want to fit it. So she got an 8. That shit was way too big. So she's like, damn it. So I had to go.
What? You're probably a 7.5?
7.5 is like a little too tight. So about 7 3/4.
Oh, okay.
Because I tried it because I had to take it back, and the 7.5 was just a little. But the 7 3/4 is still loose, but it's not like.
Yeah, but it fits.
Yeah.
No. I totally know what you mean. Like growing up, I was always a 7 1/4, and now I'm like a 7.5. So especially like right now, because like there's something on top of my head that has.
Yeah, but that fucking 8 was
like this cat just won't leave the top of my head.
The 8 was like this. I'm like, that's too big because you put it on and still no, it's too big.
That you really have to worry about. Like you open the windows of the car and all of a sudden it's like, and it just goes, and then you're like, it's not even a convertible. Like where the fucking hat go? No, I get you. Most hats that I've gotten recently have been like the trucker hat or whatever.
Yeah. But every once in a while I want a fitted hat.
No, I love fitted hats
because I like to turn them back sometimes. I don't like this.
You know what I like even more than just the regular fitted hat though is the one that's got like the elastic pull.
Yeah.
Like I've got a Notre Dame hat that's the elastic pull, and like when you don't have hair, so like when I shave my head, it fits fine. But then all of a sudden, when I've got hair, it's like it stretches it a little bit, and it still fits fine.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that hat works perfectly. Yeah. I really like those hats, but
they're hard to find, aren't they?
They've become harder to find, which is weird because like the fitted cap, the only reason why fitted caps ever became a thing is because people wanted to look more like the actual athlete.
And I don't like the new fitted hats now either. The flat, I can't.
Oh, I hate flatbacks.
I can't stand that. I have to. So I can,
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Terrence was saying that he was going to buy me a hat because he said, Rob, when you wear a hat and I'm like, T, I can't wear it. So I joke and I grab anytime he's wearing a hat like that, I put it on and he's like, dude, that shit looks good on you. And I'm like,
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I can't deal with that. And he's like, but I'm going to buy you one like that. I'm like, okay.
I have a Carol cut, and always because
I don't think he bought me one.
Matthew, like last year Christmas, where the kids bought me it was Carolina. It's a nice one, but it's a flat, and I'll wear it off. I'll wear it every once in a while, but I just can't. I'm so used to. I
mean, don't you just work it in?
But this one is a flat bill, so you can't. It's made to. Those flat bills are made to. You can't.
Oh, you can still do it. So you have to do the same. Like, remember how like they used to tell you to break in your baseball glove?
Yeah.
Where you put like a softball in there and then you like tape it around or whatever. You have to do the same thing.
Oh.
But like you can get it to do it, and when it does, it ain't never moving again. It'll be like in that pull perfect, man. Like because I've had a couple where I was like,
I think, but it's so stiff. And I try to do it. And it like bends right in the middle, doesn't look right. I'm like, no, it needs to, you know how to.
So you got to find out what the material is on the inside, because there's actually a material called Tyvek that they can put inside there, right? And it's the same material that they put in the lining of houses.
Oh shit!
To keep houses upright, right? So like
that.
You don't, but it's a thin sheet of it. It's not like not like a 3-inch
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
brick of it. So, but they use it for that. So interestingly enough, back in like the early 90s, comic books, when they were trying to come up with the new special covers, there was a Tyvek cover.
Oh shit.
And literally, like, it was like, go ahead and try to bend this son of a bitch, and it was like and it would just go right back in it. And even like certain states, their IDs use something similar, where like, you know, like New York State, you can sit there and crumple it up, and when you let it go, it goes and it just pops back out.
I know that.
Oh yeah, that's how you know it's a real ID.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you can't
like,
do that. No kind of you got now. Snap in half.
it will snap. Those things are pieces of shit. And they want them to be, because they want you to buy another one.
Yeah.
So since we're talking about what's up with you, what do you got going on for New Year's?
Shit. So
Like, I know I haven't talked about me yet, but
so Christmas, cool. Haley was here. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
New Year's. Usually I was telling you off air. Usually I have a gig. Either I'm DJing somewhere on New Year's Eve. This year, and it's the first year in probably 10 years where I don't have anything. So I'm like, I'm gonna kind of relax and be able to kiss my wife at midnight, kind of thing, you know. Finally.
I mean, do you want me to invite you to what I'm doing?
Well, no, I told my mother-in-law's in town, and
Yeah, but she can come, because my mom will be there.
My mother-in-law won't come because she has to be in bed by damn 9 o'clock, and B, she's very. No, don't need to be drinking. No, she's yeah.
She doesn't need to be like, we do fondue.
I don't. We'll see. I run about the pole, but I think we're probably going to stick close to home. I think we're going to have the neighborhood thing like we did for my Christmas party. I think one of the neighbors is going to have something. Just go over there, have a few drinks, and then chill.
So you got Saturday is the 31st. They're not doing the New Year's Evil thing for NXT until next week, right?
Next week, right? Yeah, I think that's Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not doing. There's no pay-per-views.
But if you wanted, you and I could go try to see Avatar.
That might be something doable.
Well, I mean, if you want to,
is that a 3 hour?
It is. It is, but that I mean, but in Apex they got the 4D one.
Yeah.
So you got the 3D glasses, and you got the water.
Yeah.
And it's called The Way of Water, so you know you're gonna get drenched.
That's where we went and saw the new Thor movie when it came out. We saw it.
Yeah. You know what? You never talked to me about like your experience there, because I told you all about the Batman experience,
dude. It was like fucking what you've been told. It's like fucking Soarin'. That's why it's like Soarin' in Disney.
But did it rattle you the fuck around?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then when the water came, you got sprayed. I didn't know. I wasn't expecting that. What the fuck is that? And then when people are, and you can hear it, you're like, what the fuck was that? Things whizzing by your ears when they had that, you know, and it was rattling you. And if you're flying like this, you're like this. I'm like, holy shit. Nicole, I thought she was, because she gets motion sickness and shit like that. So I'm like, oh, she's going to throw up.
But she did
good.
She liked it.
She liked it.
I'll tell you, because I went and I saw the Batman.
I want to see the Spider-Man or something there.
I don't know if I do, man, because like getting whipped, because I did the Batman. So every time there was a Batmobile scene, you get whipped around and I'm sitting there with a big thing of popcorn, and all of a sudden it's like, and popcorn, like I got half the thing of popcorn left. The little kid sitting next to me, sitting there, thanks, sir. You know, like, of course, he was getting whipped around so bad, and he's like, where's Robin? You know, like, it was actually really cool, because I was like, dude, isn't this awesome? And the little kid's like, yeah, man, this is awesome. You know, but my brother and I are sitting there like getting whipped around. The popcorn's going everywhere. The soda's going everywhere. And of course, like, you know, like more than anything else, I'm sitting there. I'm like, man, I keep hearing all these people say they fall asleep during this movie because it's 3 hours long.
How?
Well, you can't during the 4D version, because you're like, it's like, oh, my back hurts now. Oh, you know, like whatever. But anyway, but I wouldn't mind seeing Avatar in that, because you know as well as I do that the Avatar ride at Disney is easily the best ride in the entire park.
Again, motion sickness. She didn't realize it. She was in the hallway for like 15 minutes. I thought she was going to throw up. She was like green. And I get it, because,
Bro, I went into that like hungover as shit. So if I was going to get sick, this would be it.
Yeah.
And I was like, as soon as I got done, I was like, I want to get right back in line.
Yeah. She can't handle it.
I fucking love that ride. What makes
I liked it too.
So for those that don't know, and Chris, you're in the audience. I see you chatting, but for those that don't know, they didn't do the full virtual reality for that because it wasn't really available back then.
Mm.
But James Cameron was fully involved, and of course he knows everything about the 3D technology. So they used the rounded camera. Or the rounded screens,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like when you lean in wearing those 3D glasses
Yeah.
and you look to the side, you actually see all the weird stuff in 3D on the side, and you're like, that shit is fucking.
You got this thing between you, like breathing.
But yeah, and I told you that like you're on
Like a motorcycle thing.
It's like a bike,
Yeah.
but it breathes because it's supposed to be one of the birds.
Yeah.
And it is just the coolest thing ever. And then of course you get the soaring rain on your face, and you get the orange blossom smell and everything. And you're like, this is fucking cool.
It was cool.
Like who did this shit? Like, and I mean that's always the way that James Cameron's been. Because remember, I mean he did the T-1000 experience at Universal Studios like right after Terminator 2 came out, and it was a good, and that was an acting experience going on where they had a fake Robert Patrick, fake Arnold Schwarzenegger, fake like Linda Hamilton and everything.
Like Fast and Furious.
Well, they had like the whole thing where they're like acting, and then all of a sudden like you put the 3D glasses on and you get like the T-1000 sitting there there shooting out these metallic, and you're like, this is awesome. Anyways.
Universal was fun.
Oh God, I missed that. And they really should have taken the Back to the Future ride and redone it with the 3D stuff.
That's one I never got.
So I love the Back to the Future ride as long as you sit in the car, right? And you just look forward. But as soon as you go like this, you see that there's 8 levels of people in the cars, and it's like 16 cars. So I mean, they're fitting as many people as they possibly can, and everybody's doing the same thing. And you're like, that really defeats the experience.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what else defeated the experience at Universal. You ever do the Spider-Man ride?
Yes.
Okay. Remember how awesome that ride is? Like, it makes you feel like you're being like hit with the webs and being pulled up, and it broke on me and Shane. And the lights turned on. And we got to see exactly how the ride worked, because as it would move us through on the track, it had everything doing what it does. So like when you're shooting down the buildings, you're actually watching as the buildings are actually on these rolly carts. So it's just a sheet of paper that's rolling, and it's going, and you're just going, and you're like,
sucks.
And you're like, I'll tell you what though, it's so amazing to see how the magic works.
That kind of ruined it though.
It really doesn't, because as soon as you get back on the ride and you do it again, you're like,
okay.
Because as soon as that happens and the ride breaks, and here's your fast pass, you can get right back on. Okay.
My favorite ride at Disney. And Nicole laughs at me, and I don't know what the fuck is why. I like the
teacups?
No. The
Dumbo?
Tomorrow. Oh God,
in Epcot?
No, it's not in Epcot. You sit.
Oh, you're talking about the one in Magic Kingdom.
Where you sit there and the stage rotates?
Yeah.
I love that. I can't think of what it's called.
World of Tomorrow, I think.
World of Tomorrow.
I think it's called World of Tomorrow.
I love that ride.
And
I want to go there every time.
And you literally go up the thing, and you go around. Then
you just sit there.
Well, no.
Your stage goes around.
Right. But initially, it makes you go up and around. You go outside the thing, then you come back in, and then
you sit down.
Yeah. Well, the whole time you're sitting, but and then it just sits there, and it's all the animatronic guys.
I love it. I don't know why. I love it. That's my favorite part.
My favorite out of all, I love all the 4D rides.
That one and Splash Mountain, which they changed Splash Mountain now, but that was my other favorite.
You know, I really liked the Seven Dwarfs ride that they've got.
That was cool.
The
mine.
The mine ride.
That's good.
I like that one. That one breaks all the time.
I like the Bears Jamboree. I like that. Nicole likes the President's one though, with all the different presidents.
Yeah. That one is at Epcot.
Yeah,
that one's at Epcot. I like the ride that they just put at like the Chinese theater.
Okay.
The Mickey Mouse.
Mickey
Mouse thing. Where you have to wear the glasses and everything, but like it's kind of like the Star Wars one where it spins you around on the floor and you don't know which room you're going into or whatever. But you know, like to this day, Star Tours.
Yeah, and I love Soarin'. I don't know why. It's just something that's simple, but I love it. You
know, Shane and Michelle love Soarin', and I'm like, why am I doing this one? Like I've done it. It's always the same thing. Like I don't care. You know, like.
We'll duck into like because you used to go in this hot, so we'll duck in like there's the Mickey Mouse one we like to go into where he does the magic, the sorcerer, and then there's the Frozen. Nicole loves Frozen.
So
sing along.
So the Frozen one sucks though.
She loves it. She has to sing along.
The one at Epcot where you literally have to wait in line for like.
We always have. Well, they don't do them anymore. We always have fast passes.
So
they don't do fast passes. They don't do fucking meal plan anymore. I'm so pissed because we're going this year for my kids again.
I think they have meal plan again.
Really?
Yeah, I think
so, dude.
But I'll tell you, so they got rid of fast passes, but now they have this thing called Genie. Where
I heard you got beat up and like ready to go. I'm like, dude, I'm not getting up at 7 o'clock in the fucking morning.
No. So that's the Star Wars one where you have to be up at like 7 o'clock in the morning. But the and you'll get at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's fucking Disney. Like what else is like your body will just go, look, Disney.
Yeah.
You know, like but the damn Frozen one, like even during the pandemic, you know, we went when there was only 25% capacity at the fucking place, and it took 2 hours to get into that fucking ride, and we sat there in line.
Why?
That was the only thing to do in Epcot, I guess. I don't know, like, and it sucked.
Yeah.
It sucked because it was 78 degrees or whatever, and you're just in the sun. So it doesn't feel like 78 degrees. It feels like it's 100 degrees.
Oh, fucking Everest. I love Everest, too.
I do, you know, out of all the...
And actually Animal Kingdom, right? Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite thing to do in Animal Kingdom, though, is stop at the Kenyan bar in Animal Kingdom because they actually serve Tusker beer, which is a Kenyan beer. It's also only 2.7 grams of carbs.
Oh, cool.
One of Shane and my favorite beers, but they actually serve it there, and they also serve it at Jumbo House, which is one of the 2 places you can stay on the.
Is that where the Rainforest Cafe is too?
Yes, it is.
The damn gorillas in the middle of it, and every time that.
Yeah, but you know what? There's a little place in there that they do really special dinners and lunches and stuff. And we went to that place, and I got one of the best steaks I have ever had in my entire life. And normally we just stop at that place to get drinks, but we were like, well, let's it's like the Tiki House or something. And we were like, let's stop at the Tiki House and see if we can get in for it. And they were like, yeah, we got a table right now. Okay, we went in. Best lunch I've ever had, like hands down. So you're going this year, huh? You want me to try to get time off? I'll go down for your birthday.
I don't know when we're gonna go. We still got to get it together, but yeah, I'll let you know when we're going.
Well, let me know whether or not I can actually get a place to stay and stuff like like whatever. But all right. So that's what's up with you.
Yeah, what's up with you?
So past couple of years, I never asked for anything for Christmas. So my parents would give me money, and I just wouldn't get any gifts, right? And I would just get money, or I would get like tires on my car, or, like oh, I need tires. And my parents would go, okay, we can buy 3 of the 4 tires because your tires are fucking expensive. You know, that kind of shit.
3 of the 4.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, well, you know, like, hey, I'm not trying to break my parents for their bank or whatever. But this year, my mom was like, do you want anything for Christmas? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, what? You never want anything. I'm like, I'm tired of not having anything under the Christmas tree. You know, like, as you can tell, I don't have a Christmas tree in my place. I wouldn't have it up at this point anyway, because it's like that shit comes down.
This shit's still up. My shit will be up.
You got until like January 3rd. Okay?
Probably past that, but okay.
Lazy motherfucker.
No, I love Christmas. I don't.
I'm okay, Nick Foley.
Try to milk it.
I'll talk to you about Young Rock, the latest episode, Dwayne Claus. But anyway, so she's like, wait, you want Christmas presents? And I was like, yeah, I sent you an email with like the links to the items that I want. Like, you know, if you can get those, great. If you can get something like it, even better. You know, like whatever you can do. And she bought me everything I wanted except for underwear.
What'd you ask for?
I asked for the massage gun that you see over there. I asked for an ear cleaner.
Just get D-Bronx and just pour it in there.
So I do pour peroxide in my ears from time to time, and I feel the pops and everything, and I literally lay there for like 10 minutes as whatever. But I wanted one that had like the camera on it so I could see like whether or not I cleaned my ear out.
Okay, how does that work?
I'll show you when we're done. It's kind of disgusting, but I'm fucking fascinated by it. It's really cool. So I asked for those. I asked for socks. I asked for underwear. Underwear is the only thing I didn't get. And I don't know if she just didn't see the link for it or what. But
she's like, I'm not buying you underwear. She's like, that's weird.
I mean, my mom bought me underwear for like the first, I don't know how many years of my life.
She said she does.
Do you want more?
No, for sure. They look like it still has some.
Oh, gotcha. We're drinking Angel's Envy tonight. So from the same people that make Buffalo Trace, only their next lineup. So yeah, so I got that, and then she gave me some money too, which was nice. And I was like, it was nice because like, but what was funny is my mom, like, so when we're all there, you know, my nephews, my nieces, everybody's sitting there like rummaging through and trying to hand everybody the gifts, like so that way they've got something to unwrap. I can't like I'm like, oh, it was really nice that I got, you know, the ear cleaner, and then I got like and I got new screen protectors for my iPad. I got new pencil tips for my iPad pencil. Okay. So that way it feels even more like it's actually a pencil. So I got that stuff too, and I was like, that's really cool. And I got money, great. And my mom's like, why don't you look happy? And I'm like, well, because I asked for like a massager, you know, like for my shoulder. And she goes, I got you one. And I'm like, but I didn't get it. And she's like, well, it's one of these gifts. Someone might be opening it right now. And I'm like, and I look up, and it was one of the first wrapped gifts that I like put in the spot that I was in, but I put it like up and out of the way, so I didn't see it. So like everybody else is ripping through their gifts and everything else, and this one is just sitting there.
Why'd you put it up there?
Well, because I put all of mine up there, but I put like it was just like tucked in.
Oh,
so I was like, where is it? And I'm like walking around all these people sitting there unwrapping gifts, and I'm like, where is it? And they're like, Uncle Rob, I think you left one up there, and it was the heaviest gift out of all of them. And I'm like, oh,
you didn't realize when you put it up there.
I did not, and I wasn't drinking or anything. Like
you should be a little pally. You got to do all this stuff. I don't get what I was.
Well, no. What I was worried about was my mom sitting there saying, well, I got you everything on your list. She didn't, because like I said, she didn't get me underwear. But which is weird because she gave me socks. Yeah. Whatever. But then when I found it, I was like, ooh. And I immediately turned it on, you know, like freaking love it. Dude, it's amazing.
She got it last year.
It's amazing. The problem is is the spot that I have that really, really never seems to stop hurting. I can't reach by myself. So I'm like, I'm either going to have to do yoga or I'm going to have to,
I have to rig it up.
or I'm going to have to. So I shove it in right here. And then I just leave that against it. So yeah, I rigged it up. And but damn it, that thing doesn't work.
You're ridiculous.
Damn if that thing doesn't work. So yeah, so that's what I got for Christmas. I'm very pleased with my gifts. And then, my story HBH.
Yes.
That I've let you read the first story for. I finished the first one. I have now written out the entire plotting for the second one.
Oh damn.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm ready for this book to.
It hadn't even come out. You already got the second one.
Well, I'm gonna have the whole thing written because
how many stories are you gonna write?
It's just gonna be 3. It's gonna be 3, and it's the first one which leads up to the second one. The second one is gonna be all out action, and then the third one is gonna be how is he going to go from being 3/4 dead to sitting there and saving the day. So I mean, it writes itself.
Cool.
Like, and that's what I've always said about it. Like this story is just, it's too good not to write. Like you've said, okay, some of the lines are kind of corny.
The
premise
is awesome.
Yeah, and as much as it has, I've seen this and this, I've seen this. You've never seen it this way.
No, this is definitely
like there's always something about my stories where you sit there and go, that son of a bitch figured out a way to make this different. Like
that, yeah.
And there is no way to say that this isn't different than anything else that's ever come out. Like it's the same, but very different.
I understand what you talk about, so or they can see it because yeah.
Yeah, like a couple people have already asked me, why aren't you drawing it? And I'm like, because I can't depict exactly the way I want those scenes to happen. Where some other,
you would think though, you would be better to depict it because it's coming from here. So
I mean, there's some stories where I sit there and I do what we call layouts, where I sit there and I go, okay, from this angle, this is how. So I would doodle like stick figures or whatever that show it, and I mean that's as simple as layouts need to be. But at the same time, I'm one of those people that when someone else understands like what I'm going for, and they're an artist, I don't want to pull away from their energy. So I want them to sit there and like totally throw it in there. Like, yeah, I want the characters to look a certain way. Yeah, I want them to depict it so that way, if I sat there and said, hey, you're perfect for this role, that actor might sit there and go, yeah, I want to do that. But at the same time, I want it to be like, this is going to have moments of comedy. It's going to have moments of action, and it's going to have moments of drama, right? And not a lot of stories do all 3 and do them well. So I have to find the right person because.
Especially you ain't done a comment about us. That would be awesome.
So interestingly enough, when I started writing this one, my buddy Ryan sat there and said, so is your next comic going to be like about all of your stories from GameStop? And I'm like, no. And here's why.
I'm saying put you and me in fucking stupid things like meeting wrestlers, or what I'm saying, just us stupid adventures, not like us sitting here talking.
So like interestingly enough,
that would be fun.
I did junior high horrors for like 5 years.
Yeah,
and during that whole time that I was doing junior high horrors, Eric and I never showed up in the book until we did Karate Kai, and we were the commentators in Karate Kai.
That's weird.
That we never showed up, right? And it never even occurred to me to put us in the book until we did Return of the Walking Flu, and I asked or I had Eric draw in our friends who have been in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And when we put them in there, by the way, and the joke was always that it was an Easter egg, but it was also the fact that like they were two human characters amongst all the zombies, because in The Walking Dead they were always zombies, not human characters. So that even like to me that was like, oh, that's the ultimate Easter egg, right?
Right.
And they went to their local comic shop and they bought all the copies of the book. And they were
That's
telling all their friends,
funny.
we're in a comic book and everything. It was so great. And the Geralds are absolutely amazing people. So I absolutely love them. The fact that they did that though, I was like, I'll send you guys copies. It was like,
no, that's
but as soon as the artwork came in, I was like, I have to let them know that we did this. So I showed it to them and they're like, that's amazing. And then they pre-ordered the book and when their local comic shop got all the copies they were getting, they were like, they just bought all of them. But when that happened, I was like, Eric, we've never been in our own book. And he's like, yeah, why haven't we? And I'm like, I'll tell you what, I already, I'm already writing the karate championship one. What if we're just the commentators? So of course he's calling me Potsy the entire issue, and I'm calling him Eric, and whatever in the book, and like even the stuff that we said and whatever was kind of like, well, I don't know, it doesn't look like he's drawn that way, and so it was even more meta than it needed to be. But it was just because I was making a joke for him and me.
right.
I wasn't even making the joke for like fans. But what's really funny is there was a kid that we met who's a really good artist already. He's like 9 years old, really good artist at Heroes Con, and they bought that book from me. And he comes up and he goes, "You ran out of pages in that book, didn't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I did. Why?" And he goes, "Because you kind of just like ran to the end of the book." He's like, "But I loved it. It was great." And I'm like, "Awesome." Because he was absolutely right. Like that was during the paper shortage.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still in a paper shortage, but that was like during the mass of the paper shortage. And I was told, hey, no, you're at this many pages on this book. You can't go over. And the end of it came up and like Eric, the commentator in the book, is like, "We're out of time, folks," and it was like Tony Schiavone almost, like. But it was perfect, So anyway, I'm really excited about where I'm going with this story, because like the second issue, by the way, and I'm calling it book 2 because I don't want it to feel like a 3-issue series. I want it to feel like a 3-book series. But the second book for it, which, like I said, we'll call HBH right now, is all out action. Like there's 5 pages at the beginning that is like the story element.
Right.
Then it's all action like the movie Die Hard. And then the last 5 pages are going to be like leading up to the final encounter kind of thing. And it's one of those things where, like, as a writer, you sit there and you write a story and you go, I want the artist to be as interested in this as I am, right? So the way I'm writing the second book for it, I'm not writing it as page 1 this, page 2 this, page... Like, I might do that for the first 5 pages and I might do it for the last 5 pages. But that middle 12 pages or so is all going to be like, this is how I want this depicted. So some of the stuff happens in a museum. Well, museums have really expensive artwork and really expensive things, which means they also have really expensive security systems and all that stuff. So, like, imagine with your, like, brain, like, oh, what could we possibly do with the security systems in a Die Hard situation?
Oh, God.
Am I right?
Yeah.
So like, I'll be like, okay, in this situation, use the laser grid to sit there and cut up the henchmen. And just let the artist do it. Like that way, the artist has just as much interpretation of the story as I do, and it's going to be fun because they're going to have carte blanche to do what they want. You know, like I would think that the most not fun thing in a comic book is reading a description that you're sitting there like, okay, I just read like a page of description of what I need to write or draw for this panel. It's got to be the least liked thing in all of comic books, right?
Okay.
But the most fun thing for an artist has to be someone sitting there saying, go to fucking town. Just destroy this character in the most gruesome way possible and make it fun. And then you get like a double page spread of like this character just like mutilating the
Nice.
And you're like, fuck yeah. You know, like, so that's what I'm doing with the second book. And even like the first half of the third book is going to be more of that because like there really has to be more of that action and whatever in the third book and then all of a sudden when it finally comes to the crescendo and you're at that moment where it's like the hero's going to die. But then this happens.
Right.
That's when you have that story element or whatever. But then you have that one moment where he just sits there and, you know, you have like the stupid, cheesy, like Christmas, like the yippee-ki-yay motherfucker line, you know, or whatever, or ho, 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 now I have a machine gun. You know, like, you know, one of those lines. So anybody that says that Die Hard's not a Christmas movie, ho, 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 now I have a machine gun. Fuck you. It's a goddamn Christmas movie.
Because he said ho, ho, ho.
Ho, 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 now I have a machine gun. Anyways, last thing I'll say about Die Hard. Did you know that when Alan Rickman was like sitting there smoking a cigarette between takes at one point, the production assistants were sitting there and they were laughing with them and joking with them. And it was, by the way, at 42 years old, Die Hard was Alan Rickman's first movie.
Oh, damn.
Think about that. Because he was a theater actor before that.
Yeah.
But he's sitting there smoking a cigarette, talking to the production assistants, and he's imitating an American accent. Oh, yeah, I can sit here and talk like this, and it's completely fine.
He did that when he was...
and then all of a sudden, in the movie, the director, John McTiernan, heard him doing that and wrote it into the movie where he did the, oh, no, please don't kill me. And then he's like, well, who are you? I'm Bill Clay. And that entire sequence was added to the movie because John McTiernan saw him joking around with the production staff and said, we have to put that in the movie.
Do, right. It amazes me. There's a bunch of British actors on fucking Walking Dead. You would never know it. I mean,
you mean like Andrew Lincoln?
Andrew Lincoln. What's her name? Maggie. She's British.
Is she?
Yeah. So from Australia. Oh, she's from another country and has an accent when she's speaking.
Wow.
Other than Maggie. Yeah.
Wow.
One of the other guys, one of the black dudes, I never would have thought he was British too.
Well, but I mean Tom Holland.
Yeah. It amazes me. You can name them off.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba, absolutely.
It just like to me to see them and then especially if I don't know they're British and then you see them in the interview, you're like, wait, what the fuck?
Luther's coming back, by the way.
Who?
Idris Elba's like BBC show.
So this is kind of off there, but I'll never forget. And it's not anything with a British accent. It just makes me laugh. We went to when Nicole and I were dating. When I went with her family, we went to the zoo in Asheboro. We were coming back, and we stopped at this restaurant. And there was a this young Asian lady. She was kind of cute. Her waitress. She came and talked to me. When she walked up, she said, "Hey y'all, how you doing today?" And I looked at her.
It's always funny.
I looked at her. She goes, "Yeah, you weren't expecting that to come out of my mouth. Where you should." I'm like, "No." And it's just funny to me because I was expecting just normal, and it was thick. It was so thick.
So one of the TikToks I love is the Graham Norton Experience stuff,
Mhm.
right? And he had Hugh Laurie from House,
Mm-hmm.
and he also had this African American actor on there, and I don't know who it was because I've never seen him. But like he there was two of them, and it was from the same episode, and one of them is a question directed towards Hugh Laurie, and it's, how did it feel to play an American for like 8 years? And Hugh Laurie's like, oh, the great thing about that is that like I would sit there and like it was always weird listening to all these American actors speaking with that accent and then me having to do that accent come out of my mouth. But every time I would screw it up, I would just sit there and go, oh, well, it's because I'm not actually American. Like and he got away with it, But then they did another question to the African American actor, and Graham Norton's like, "You don't like New Year's Eve, do you?" And he's like, "Well, that's very presumptuous of you." and he says it in that deep British accent to where you're like, wow, that was kind of an asshole thing to say. But Graham Norton gets away with it because he's so charming, right? But then he's like, but you're right, because that time between Christmas and New Year's is kind of like the dump in the middle of everything. And you're sitting there and you're like, oh, well, we just got done all being together this week. And, like my mom sits there and says to me, well, I can't wait to hang out with you for New Year's. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, we just hung out. I don't need to hang out with you anymore. And I want her to go away. So like Graham Norton's question was 100% accurate.
That reminds me of the Key and Peele episode where they were talking about how the British guys come over and get all the lights. So he's supposed to be, there were two thugs, and like the one dude, he's a real thug from the street, and that is the British actor, and he was doing the thug thing between takes. He's like, oh yes, I think of me, mom, and he goes, no, I'm really from the streets, and the director said, you need to act like you're more from the streets, and I need more thug from you. And he looks at the black British and goes, you nailed it, you're perfect, and the guy's like, I'm from the fucking hood. It's so fucking hilarious.
You see, so there's a TikTok just this week that was, it was Keenan and Kel. I'm sorry, it wasn't like, I love the Key and Peele stuff because like I watch their TikTok. It's just their skits. Yeah. Just bite sized.
Yeah. It's so fucking hilarious. Liam Neeson's? You like the Liam Neeson? The Liam Neeson's.
I watched one today that literally was just like it said how Sony feels about its first party titles, and it was the scene where Jordan Peele is the president and he keeps walking up and he's like hugging people and everything, and it's like oh, for Uncharted, oh yeah, my brother, we got one of these, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, then we go to this title, they're like, yeah.
They got that from that skit. The original skit was he was Obama, and he was
so
Democrats and Republicans.
So it was the actual skit. It's just they kept putting up these characters and stuff. But
talk about another one.
But Keenan and Kel.
Oh yeah.
They brought Kel on to SNL.
They're talking about the grape soda one.
Well,
the orange soda.
The orange soda one. Where he gets shot. It's like, that's right, Keenan. He's my baby daddy. And he's like bleeding out. And I laughed so hard. And I never watched Keenan and Kel.
Oh my God.
But I've been hearing so much about it recently.
Were so stupid. That show back in the 90s is so stupid.
Yeah, the Good Burger shit.
Yeah, but they had an actual show called Keenan and
Kel.
The Good Burger was like a skit from that.
Right.
And they made a movie out of it. But Keenan and Kel together were fucking hilarious. They were early Key and Peele. That's what it was.
Yeah. You know what the craziest part about Key Key and Peele is that it only lasted 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Now, have you seen?
So the Chappelle Show didn't last about 5, I think.
I think it was only 3 seasons.
I have to go home and look. I have the
whole set.
Yeah.
Did you have you watched the show on Hulu that is Kenan Thompson or not Kenan from Key and Peele, Kenan Michael Key in it as like the actor that was the actor in the show from like 20 years ago, and they want to revive the show with the original cast. But it's him, Johnny Knoxville, and dude, that show is fucking hilarious.
You need to go back and watch Murderville on Hulu. Have you seen that one? Where so what it is like this, it's a show, and they have these guest celebrities, and they have to guess who killed them. But the guest celebrities don't have a script, so they have to improvise the whole thing and work off the other people. It is fucking hilarious.
That sounds good. No, I haven't watched that. But when you're talking about that, the other one that I want to watch is Only Murderers in the Building, which is Steve Martin and Martin Short and Selena Gomez. Because I'll tell you, if you haven't watched the just the beginning of that episode of Saturday Night Live where Steve Martin and Martin Short hosted at the same time. Like, they start it, and Steve Martin comes out, and he's like, Marty, it's so great being here at Saturday Night Live. Like, how about we show everybody how many times I've hosted the show? And it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to like 16 times, right? And he's like, that's pretty great. Marty, how many times have you hosted it? And he's like, oh, let's do that, Steve. And he's like, and it goes 1, 2, 3. And then Martin Short sitting there is like, Steve, you know, I love being here with you. I love being at these moments with you. But I know that our time together is short because you're going to die soon.
Oh, fuck.
And Steve Martin's like, well, that's kind of messed up, Marty. And he's like, but what if, and hear me out, what if we decide to do our obituaries? Like I wrote your obituary for when you're not here anymore. Because wouldn't it be great to hear what I have to say about you? And Steve Martin's like, Marty, that's so crazy that you would have that idea because I did the exact same thing. And they literally sit there and roast each other as if they were dead.
I think I sent you a TikTok where they were on like the Letterman show or Kimmel together, and they were roasting each other.
Dude, they did a Netflix special together, and it is phenomenal. Like, because they like sing together, they joke together, like, and then they do this like when they basically say that they're one downing each other instead of one upping each other. They one down each other by basically being like, Marty, it's so great to have you here. I mean, I didn't think that you were out of prison yet. You know, like that kind of line. And the other one sits there, he's like, of course I'm out of prison, Steve. It was your fault I was in there in the first place. You know? But it's like a 2-hour thing, and then they do like musical numbers, and it like they are phenomenal together. I want to watch it again now that I'm talking about it, but nobody wants to hear us talk about any of that stuff.
We gotta probably read some of those comments and see.
Yeah, we probably should. Well, they're all from Chris Barrett, so we probably don't need to read any of them. Hell, James Cameron invented a whole style of 3D tech. Yeah, he pretty much did. The Sphere, I was in the World of Tomorrow in Epcot when that broke down 3 years ago. Yeah, that sucks. Anytime those rides break down, it blows. But I'll tell you, like the Spider-Man one, it was amazing to see how it actually worked because your brain doesn't think like it's something set up to make your brain think differently than it's supposed to.
Yeah.
So the fact that like when you finally see how it actually works, you're like, oh, that shit makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But it was fucking phenomenal. Like I was trying to take pictures of it. Interestingly enough, when I went to get those pictures developed, because this is how long ago that was, None of them developed. Conspiracy.
Next, dude, it's like 9:30.
All right. Let's see. You keep the fake ones up all year round. Rob, your mom bought you underwear every year of your life.
Yeah.
She did not. She didn't buy me underwear this year.
Every other year.
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. It lacks all the. You know who it is? It's Chris Barrett. It lacks all the core tenets needed. Incorrect, Chris Barrett. I'm going to tell you right now. Die Hard is absolutely a Christmas movie. Here's why. It happens between Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Right?
Okay.
Agreed?
Okay, I agree.
He is going to visit his wife on Christmas.
Okay.
The very first song in the movie is Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC.
Okay.
The cops don't want to show up because it's Christmas.
Okay.
The whole movie is Christmas.
Okay.
Anything you want to add?
No.
Do you agree or disagree that Die Hard is a Christmas movie?
I'm so out. I agree that it happens around Christmas time, and it is very Christmas centric.
Unlike Die Hard 2, which just happens when there's a lot of snow.
Okay.
Now, I will grant you, Chris Barrett, Lethal Weapon is not a Christmas movie.
Okay.
Because it happens
around
Christmas, but not in that time frame that makes it a Christmas movie. So I will grant that Lethal Weapon, no. Die Hard, fuck yes. Okay. By the way, my now top 4 Christmas movies of all time.
I know it's got to be damn Violent Night's got to be on there now.
Top 4 in no particular order, because I don't know which one I like more than others. Violent Night has entered the arena. Die Hard, A Christmas Story,
oh yes,
and Christmas Vacation.
Okay, I agree.
Now, if somebody were to sit there and say Miracle on 34th Street, sure. If somebody were to say
Home Alone.
If somebody said Home Alone at this point, I would agree.
We watched the new Christmas Story.
Christmas Story Christmas?
That was good. It was good.
You know what I liked about that one more than anything else is that you can watch it before Christmas Story or after a Christmas Story.
Except for the mom. The mom, because the mom died, so they replaced the mom. I like how they kept harkening back to the dad and the old. They brought back the.
They even had the picture.
Yeah, and they brought back scenes from the original movie. It wasn't too much to be. It was just enough.
Now, I wanted to know...
And all his friends were the same people.
I wanted to know if Randy...
was the same character.
Was he the same guy?
Same actor. Randy was the same. Flick.
Schwartz
was the same. And
Scott Farkas was the same?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that was him.
Now, that one blew me away because I loved how they... You know, how he just dropped... sorry if I'm ruining it for anybody. Just dropped him off at home and said...
Yeah.
And said, I never would have cleaned my life up if it wasn't for you.
And when he had the flashback of the adult Farkas and the adult Worm or whatever, that was the original kid. That was his sidekick too. That guy was, they got all the original people. It was so fucking awesome.
Wow.
Yep.
See, I didn't know. I wondered it as I watched it because I watched it the first day it was out, and I didn't look any of that stuff up, even though you would think, as much of like a historian of that type of stuff.
Everybody was the same.
That's amazing.
All the kids growing up were in it.
And I started wondering if the mom was the same too.
She wasn't the same because the original mom
passed away.
So they
just like the original dad passed away. Although it like if the dad had still been alive, I wonder if they would have written it in the script that the mom passed instead of the dad. But again,
I thought it was funny that the snowmobile bullies were Scott's kids.
And he's like, oh, those kids.
Yeah.
I liked how his kids finally got one up on them.
Yeah, that was funny. Oh,
when they ran into the giant stone.
I knew when they made the snowman. I'm like, that's that fucking stuff.
I did find it a little bit interesting that they made Schwartz into like the alcoholic.
Yeah.
the group alcoholic. But he did get the triple dog dare.
Ah, that was I like
to go up the damn ramp or whatever. It
was a good movie.
It wasn't a good movie, but here's where, like I said, here's where it works well. Okay, last year they came out with 8-Bit Christmas.
Okay,
with Neil Patrick Harris as the narrator and everything. That one was really good, but you know that it's a really good Christmas movie when you know you want to watch it every year.
Oh, I'll watch that one every year.
With this one, with Ralphie coming back and it actually being Peter Billingsley, you get the feeling that you want to watch it again. But again, do you watch it before or do you watch it after?
I watch it in order.
Well, and here's why it works either way. And if you haven't watched it, again, I apologize. You've had a month now. The Christmas Story Christmas could actually be watched before you watch A Christmas Story. And the reason why is because at the end of the movie, you read the story of Ralphie talking about his dad's Christmas, which is
the Christmas Story,
the movie A Christmas Story. So it works like that, or you can watch it after because Ralphie's grown up now.
Yeah.
But either way, it works.
I was wondering too. I'm like, so Christmas Story is supposed to be like in the 40s. I'm like, they can't possibly make it to that. He'll be dead. So I like the way they did it in the 70s. I liked it. And that's what I'm like, how are they going to do it? And as soon as it's 1973, I'm like, oh, okay, gotcha.
And of course, he's on the phone and everything.
Yeah, and all the different 70s colored wallpaper and the different.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I did enjoy it, and it wasn't one of those where I was like, wow, they're really trying to just like grab the same shit. Like
it was a whole different movie with the original sprinkled in. That's what I like.
And they did it just well enough to where you had like certain moments of I mean, you had the nostalgia, like you're saying, the sprinkled in, but you also had these are characters you care about.
And Nicole was laughing because they just like when he was a kid in the original movie, he would daydream these things. He's a fucking full grown man daydreaming shit, look out the window and the same facial expressions. It was awesome. I loved it.
I loved the sequence where all of a sudden the mom hates the wife because she wants the people that are singing.
The carolers. So, Ralphie, how could you? I didn't know.
That
was hilarious. They're like behind the couch, crawling. Don't let him in.
It's like, I'll take one for the team. You guys get out the back. And the wife's still like, why? I still like caroling. And it's like, get out. Yeah, no, which is funny because there is a sequence in the first movie where there's carolers, but it doesn't have to do with going to the houses.
And I like when they did the in the car. They did a lot of the callbacks, like in the car when they sang. This time they did the bat jingle. Batman smells.
Yeah,
but they still did the thing at the end. You know, they still. So some of the things, it was cool.
No, totally agreed. Liked it a lot. Wouldn't put it in the top 5. Would say that anybody who's going to watch 25 Christmas movies from December 1st to December 25th definitely fits in that.
Yeah.
All right.
And there's really not a lot going on in Russ because Monday Raw they didn't. So what? Friday SmackDown and because Thursday week, so it was Thursday we did the show, so it'll be SmackDown and Dynamite, I guess.
I mean, there is something we need. Like I said, we can talk a little bit about what happened on Raw because there was.
I didn't watch the whole thing because it was just
but NXT was actually a full show.
Yes. SmackDown, Bray Wyatt snapped. What the fuck happened there? He's in the ring. I don't know. I don't understand what they're doing because he was face. And all of a sudden, he's in the ring doing his promo, and it's. At first, I thought he flubbed the lines. I forget what he said, but he repeated it, and he's kind of like, and I'm like, did this bitch forget what he was going to say? And he just fucking grabbed the camera and put him in the mandible claw. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So, I don't know what they're doing. Are they going to try to make him look crazy now? What are they doing? He's still got knee brace on, so apparently I don't. But he wrestled. He did do a wrestle house show.
He's been wrestling. Well, he wrestled his first house show and did the from Brody Lee. I don't know. Like, I think that they want him to be a babyface, but they want him to be a crazy babyface, like Dexter Lumis. And it's weird because Bray doesn't exactly work as a babyface. He works as
a tweener.
He works as a heel.
They're gonna cheer him anyway.
That you want to cheer for because he's just a super cool character.
Yeah.
The problem that you run into with that is that if not done correctly, you either turn him babyface, which is kind of what they're doing, or you don't know what to do with them. Like, and that's the problem with the character. This is the NWO thing all over again. The NWO was so cool as bad guys that you stopped hating them for being bad guys.
Well, here's the thing, though. I think they pushed him as face because they haven't pushed him as a bad guy because his first program is with
LA Knight,
who was a heel.
Is he?
Yeah.
Are we sure?
Yeah, he's got a whole lot of heel shit. They've been booing him, and he's been.
But are they really booing him? That's the problem. Like, if they wanted Bray Wyatt to be a babyface, they literally should have put him up against Baron Corbin.
Well, he's been doing heel as shit. He fucking jumped Bray Wyatt. You know, he's fucking. I think they're trying to push him as the heel and Bray as the baby.
You're 100% correct in your assumption of what they're trying to do. I think that the problem that they're running into is both of those characters are well-liked characters that are heels that everybody wants to cheer.
Okay.
LA Knight is literally
The Rock.
early Rock with a stone cold accent.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he is. Bray Wyatt is, and we've talked about this. And when Foley showed up in the WWE, Foley wasn't well liked, not by the fans. You thought he was going to lose to The Undertaker when he got brought in as the negative force with Paul, with Paul Bearer. As Mankind. But then Foley went over. And like Shane, like Foley talks about it in this whole thing where he's talking to Shane Douglas, and Shane Douglas is like, I wouldn't go there, Mick. They're just going to bury you. They're going to bury you. They did bury a live match, and The Undertaker lost. Like Mick won those matches. He won the Boiler Room match. He won that match. He had Paul Bearer with him. It worked. Right now, I don't think it's working because we want to cheer LA Knight. Because LA Knight, towards the end of his NXT run, we were cheering. So if the audience that's watching NXT is now watching SmackDown, and we know that they aren't for the most part.
But they also want to cheer Wyatt.
Agreed.
Okay.
Wyatt, they have always wanted to cheer.
So why wouldn't they put him against a top heel? Maybe not Roman. He's not ready for Roman yet, but put him against Walter. You know what I mean?
So I wouldn't put him against Walter. And Gunter. I wouldn't put him against Gunter, and the reason why is because Gunter is a golden goose.
Okay.
He is we can put him against Brock.
Okay.
We can put him against Roman. We can turn Roman completely 100% babyface by putting him against Imperium. Are we going to do it?
No.
Not yet. And they shouldn't.
Or they can turn Imperium face and have them face the Bloodline.
No. We want to cheer the Bloodline.
But people want to cheer. I'm watching. They're slowly starting to cheer Gunther.
Of course they are, because he's amazing.
Yeah.
And see, that's okay. I'm going to go off the question topic by saying this, that we all sit there and we understand it's a performance. So those that give the best performance, we want to cheer. We don't care if they're the good guy. Like, it's Phantom of the Opera.
Like when Sheamus all of a sudden became the face.
Yeah, it's Phantom of the Opera. We know that the Phantom is the bad guy. But if Jean Valjean is sitting there playing as the Phantom, he's giving the performance of a lifetime, and we're sitting there going, at the end. Like, it's MJF in AEW. He's so good as a heel that we don't want to boo. We don't want to. So what do? They literally find the one guy you can't boo, Bryan Danielson, and make him the number one contender.
Yeah.
And yet, we still don't want to boo MJF. That's the problem with pro wrestling these days, is we've gotten so far past the black and white, babyface and heel. And we understand that the performance now is the most important part. So even the companies have allowed you the opportunity to sit there and say, this is awesome. And you do. Like, you know who the biggest heels in pro wrestling should be right now? You do. Because no. The biggest heels in pro wrestling just went to 3-3 in their best of 7 match.
Oh, bitches.
And yet, if you listened last night, that crowd was cheering for the Elite and cheering this is awesome. And I'm going to tell you right now, the Elite wouldn't be where they fucking are right now if Death Triangle wasn't as good as they are. If they were going up against the Dark Order in this best of 7 series, the Dark Order might get some comeuppance, but the Elite doesn't gain anything.
What's the other? House of Black.
If the House of Black were to face the Elite in a best of 7 series, they probably would have lost 4-0.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because as much as we want the House of Black to be what Tony Schiavone and Taz and Excalibur are saying, these guys are all main event talent, the people they're going up against aren't going to make them main event talent. The only reason why this is now a best of 7 series is because they know.
Because they bitched about it and whined and cried.
But because
when they lost at the pay-per-view, all of a sudden that's when it became the best of 7.
They lost at the pay-per-view because it was the right decision.
Yes, you're right. But they didn't think it was the right decision.
They made it into a best of 7 because you know that they're going to take the belts back. The trios title should be called the belts that the Elite are going to carry forever. And the only reason why they're not carrying them forever is because Tony Khan had to sit there and go, bad boys, come back in a month and I'll...
No, it's like, bad boys. You come back and I'll give it back to you.
Yeah. And I don't know if you noticed in the wrestling group this week, but Dane, who has always been a pretty big AEW mark, flat out said the only way to fix this is to have something crazy happen, like CM Punk show up and cost them the belts. And he's right. Like if CM Punk were to come back and cost them the belts, it would cause CM Punk FTR versus the Elite.
I don't even know if they have to have it. I thought about it, but you ain't gotta have CM Punk. Just fucking play cult personality, have them fucking look, and let the fucking
which could possibly happen because, I mean, Punk has a tricep injury, which is a 9-month injury, right? So he's not ready to come back. But, yeah, totally fuck with... And don't just fuck with the other wrestlers' heads. Fuck with the crowd.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nobody knows. If you hit they're gonna fucking lose the fuck in my eyes. Everybody's gonna be the fuck. And while, like I said,
and even better, have somebody come out wearing a hoodie and sit down, and then have it be like Stokely Hathaway.
I mean, yeah, but you just play the fucking.
Oh my God, you want to make Stokely the worst heel in the entire business?
You sent me that picture of Sam.
Raggedy bitch.
I thought it was real, so I'm like watching TV, like, when they gonna put that on there?
Did they not do it?
No, I don't know. Somebody must have done it, like photoshopped it.
Oh, that raggedy bitch.
Oh.
I thought Bryan Danielson was actually man enough to sit there and have them put that.
I bet you he'd be like, "Fuck yeah, do that."
Yeah, he'd be like, "This will get me over even further. Do it."
It's fucking hilarious.
It really is. And I mean, we were supposed to be talking about SmackDown. Interestingly enough, just in case anybody who watches our show didn't know this, Kevin Owens wasn't able to get to SmackDown, and this week,
was this one taped?
This one was taped.
Okay.
So this latest episode of SmackDown was taped. So when they were still live, they had to rewrite the entire 2 shows because Kevin Owens wasn't going to be there. And interestingly enough, it meant that the John Cena segment also had to be rewritten. And John Cena, being the team player that he is, captured everything.
Holy shit. That was when Steve's walking off. Holy shit. John Cena's coming back. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about...
Well, I want to say...
Sorry.
When that episode before Christmas was happening, I literally sat there and went, Kevin Owens isn't here. And Roman Reigns is sitting there, and this was before any of the information that John Cena was going to be there. And Roman Reigns is sitting there saying, you go out and you try to find yourself somebody, Kevin. We know you don't have any friends. And then all of a sudden I was like, it's going to be fucking John Cena.
You know what would have been a real kick in the dick? I'd have loved it. Fucking glass breaks.
Would have been good, but...
Yeah.
But I can you get Steve Austin back at WrestleMania? Yes, probably. Can you get Steve Austin back just on a random episode of...
Was it WCW or was it I think it was WCW where somebody was wrestling for the tag team championships and they didn't have a partner and it ended up being his opponent turned on him. Was it the Hardys or Shane Moore? They turned on him and joined this person's team to win the belts. Remember that? That swerve? It's lucky it's going to be 1 against 2.
Well, it wouldn't have been the Hardys because they never worked for WCW.
I can't remember. Well, not WCW. I can't remember if it was WWE or WCW. They did that to where this guy's teammate was on the other team, and he fucking swerved and got turned on that guy. What if they did that with Roman Reigns and Sammy turned on him there?
No. I think what we're gonna see is at the beginning of the episode of SmackDown
this week.
Yeah, tomorrow. We're gonna have Kevin Owens basically come out and say, if we win the match, I get you at Royal Rumble. Because I mean we're headed to January. And John Cena will placate that and be like, oh, that sounds great. I might even be in the audience to see that happen after we beat you. And then, of course, Roman sits there and he's like, and then Sammy goes, you're on, because I'm definitely all in with the bloodline. And then Sammy takes the pinfall.
Okay.
And then you get, and what I'd really like to see.
We're going to see Sammy and Roman go over because then Kevin beat them. Kevin and Seth freaking Rollins beat them at Raw. Remember we said that we think that's going to be.
But see, I think this is going to be. Well, that's now 2 in a row that I've beaten you, Roman. I deserve the match, like that kind of thing. But I also think we're going to have, and I hope to God they let Kevin go off script and be able to sit there and go, and Roman, this time you're not going to have a referee just stop the count.
That would be awesome.
Because we all know that Roman, and Roman only had to get up on his feet. Like, it would have been an awkward stance, but all he had to do was get on his feet. And Kevin wouldn't have actually been the winner of that match.
Mm-hmm.
But the ref stopped this count, and it wasn't even because, like, Paul Heyman knocked him out.
No,
he just literally stopped the count last January. And I would love for Kevin Owens to be able to sit there and reference it, and have Corey Graves or somebody else in it, you know, or Wade Barrett sit there and be like, that's right, if you remember correctly, he did blah, 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 this. You know, like, they need to.
Yeah.
Because they know that they fucking hoodwinked us. You know, they fucking bally whipped us or whatever you want to cut. I don't even know what, like,
besmirched.
They besmirched. They besmirched the last man standing match.
Okay.
Okay.
Came out.
Mm-hmm.
Arms fucked up.
Yep. Still.
Won the gauntlet.
Yep.
Ronda Rousey and Shayna came out. No. Yeah, because she did beat Shayna. So they came out and they did more damage to her arm. She's supposed to get the title shot. Is it this week?
No, I think it's supposed to be Royal Rumble.
Okay. I was about to say. So what do you think of that? You think Raquel's going to be the one to dethrone, or you think they're going to save it for Charlotte? Because Charlotte's, I think, is back, or is on her way back.
Charlotte's supposed to be back at the Royal Rumble. However, oh, come on, you know you love Howard Finkel. Wouldn't it be better if Shayna won the Rumble?
I've been saying they need to push Shayna, put the belt on her forever, but they didn't.
But they are now pushing her, and she's a badass again, right?
Yeah, but so you think she'll turn on Ronda?
Well, you won't think she'll turn on Ronda, and then all of a sudden in the February pay-per-view, they'll be in a tag team match or whatever, and Ronda will be the one taking the pinfall or taking the submission hold loss, and Shayna will just walk off and be like,
so Shayna turns face?
I don't think either of them become a babyface, but it would actually make Ronda the babyface. And they've wanted Ronda as a babyface all along. And the only persons, and I say persons because there's probably two, maybe three, that can make Ronda into a babyface. Shayna. Because when Shayna puts that scowl on her face, you don't want to cheer her. And she is a badass motherfucker.
Charlotte.
That's the one that I say is a maybe. Asuka is the other one.
When they turn her back into the old
when Asuka is at the top of her game, I don't want to fuck with her. You know, she's in her 40s.
Yeah.
Which means her and Orthopedic Skechers.
Asuka's grandma. No, she can't be her grandma then.
No, she can still be her grandma. I mean, she was like 78 when she won the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. Speaking of Jason, we're going to NXT. February 4th, we are going to Charlotte, North Carolina.
You drive this time.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. I'll drive. But all right. Let's I know you wanna
Dynamite. Anything happened on Dynamite? They had the $300,000.
What? No. We're talking about last night's Dynamite now.
That's last week. Yeah.
Last night.
Dynamite. I'm doing.
I mean, if you want to talk about the $300,000,
how stupid that was.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
It was stupid.
I don't watch Rampage anymore because it became WWE main event.
My man Hook finally made it to Dynamite.
He did. He's been on Dynamite 2 weeks in a row. And last week, I talked about how a 5'6" six-pack. I mean, he has a six-pack.
That's an 8-pack. That motherfucker's ripped.
Okay. Hook is ripped.
I'm like, damn.
But so is Big Bill. And Big Bill ran out of the ring last week. This week, Hook came down. He made the save again, right?
No, Hook was in the ring. He just fought a match.
Hook fought a match?
Yeah.
Oh. That's right, because he was 17-0 going into the match. He won the match.
And then they came down.
Came down to fuck with them, and Jungle Boy's music hit. And Jungle Boy suddenly is the new Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Well, no, he didn't have it at first. That's the weird thing. He ran out and he beat the shit out of Bull Boy. And he was like, this is shit that made me pop. So you're right. Big Bill, Morrissey, and Hook are in the ring. They're just staring each other down. And they think they panned the Jungle Boy. He's in the aisle like, what the fuck's going on there? Oh.
But hold on. You said that they were staring each other down. Here's the thing. Big Bill was staring Hook down, and Hook was like looking at his chest.
No, Hook was looking at what I'm saying is they were in the ring just like this, and Jungle Boy's like, are they gonna fight? What the fuck's going on? Oh well. He just went. My other favorite part was it when I don't know if it was Hathaway came down for a match.
You're talking about Bryan Danielson at the beginning of the night, and he flips the hat off.
No, he had the hat on, so he could talk about his bald head. That made me laugh because he remember last week.
The whole time that Stokely was down there, they're like, Stokely's never worn a hat before. Why is he wearing a hat? What is going on? And then, of course, Bryan Danielson went and flipped the hat off, and I didn't do it this time.
I wish you'd call him a raggedy motherfucker. You raggedy son.
You raggedy bitch.
Raggedy bitch.
You raggedy bitch. If anybody thought that Ethan Page was going to beat Bryan Danielson in that match, you like, I wanted him to.
It was a good match.
It was a solid match, but I wanted him to beat him. The problem is that, like, what they're doing again is they're going, hey, who's a guy that can make MJF look really good in his first real title defense? And I'm saying real title defense because we knew Ricky Starks had no chance of winning. Who could beat him? And we have to build him up a little bit. We have Bryan Danielson.
So you're saying you don't think Danielson's going to take that belt?
Fuck no.
Before you were like you thought he would.
No. He should take that belt.
Oh.
He is a better wrestler than MJF. He is a better showman than MJF.
So who takes the fucking belt off?
I don't know. The question is whether or not MJF's contract is going to be up before he drops the belt. Like,
we know it's up in 2004 or 2024. The War of 2024. But
hold on. Cody won the TNT championship without a contract. That's how much confidence Tony Khan has in certain guys, is that they will continue to work without contracts in certain cases, right? With MJF,
he just signed one, didn't he? And they get more money, so we got to figure out how long that contract is.
So MJF, the rumor is that he didn't sign a term contract. He just added money to his current deal.
Oh shit!
And to be honest, the guy's worth it.
But he's not working under a contract. So is it?
He's still under contract.
He can leave at any time.
No, he's under contract.
But for how long? That's what I'm saying.
Until January 1st, 2024.
That was my question. Okay.
Is what everyone's saying. Now, the rumor is that he does have an extension. So, or at least there's a option in the contract that Tony Khan can play out. So
if that bitch shows up at WrestleMania in 2024.
I'd be more worried he'd show up in the Royal Rumble and win the Rumble. Because you want to really set the wrestling world on fire.
He came back at a Rumble or Mania.
He came back at Mania against Seth. This time he's probably coming back at the Rumble.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that goes. But with MJF, it's annoying because you know what he admitted is he only wrestled 7 matches last year or in the last 12 months. Like literally, Roman Reigns wrestled more than that, and people complained that he didn't wrestle enough.
Yeah.
So why does this kid, 26 years old, think that he's that good?
He's got good on the not in the ring. He's got good on the mic. I think he needs to work on his ring skills.
He's not bad in the ring.
He's no Danielson.
I would say that,
but he's got Paul Heyman level mic skills.
I would say that he. I mean, Ricky Starks is giving him a run for the money on that right now.
Yeah.
But I would say that like you put him in the ring with a Logan Paul, and you don't have the Roman Reigns match that you had. The Roman Reigns match against Logan Paul was probably a 4+ star match. And I think that MJF sits there and there's botches in that match. And I think that that's the youth and the inexperience and everything else. I also think that's, I only wrestled 7 matches. I think when you look at who MJF has been put in the ring against, you're always getting him against somebody that is worth a 4.5-star match. Moxley, Danielson,
Where does he wrestle?
CM Punk, Jericho, Hangman Adam Page. I mean, like all of those guys are wrestling more frequently, putting up better matches, and it really is helping him look like he's better than he is. And don't get me wrong, Paul Heyman was amazing at booking people to their strengths. But if he's not wrestling on a regular basis,
he's not getting better.
So thank you. I 100% agree with that statement, and I don't think that that's something that the wrestling industry really necessarily cares about from one time to the, but like you look at Roman Reigns and everybody was like, why is Logan Paul facing him in this match? And then suddenly we're like, that's one of the best 5 matches of the year.
Roman Reigns, you're right. You're right. We say he's not working, but that motherfucker, he worked a whole lot, way more matches, obviously, than MJF.
I'm not going to say he worked way more matches. He probably worked 15 matches this year. But in his 15 matches, he Brock Lesnar. He put in the effort. He literally, so anybody that and I've said this, and I've said it multiple times, when it comes to Brock Lesnar, we always sit there and complain that Brock Lesnar doesn't love the business.
But when he comes, he comes.
But when he faced The Undertaker and he concussed The Undertaker, did he give up on the match? No, he carried his ass. He literally carried The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yes.
When he faced Bryan Danielson, we sat there and went, holy shit, he just killed Bryan Danielson. He let Bryan Danielson come back for 15 minutes in that match before he finally destroyed him. Like, Brock Lesnar truly respects the industry as what it is, entertainment. And nobody, I'm going to say this right now, nobody's more entertaining than him. On his promos, not necessarily. But when that match starts, Brock Lesnar gives you your money's worth every fucking time.
I was watching something about Brock and it's saying he was entertaining, and it went back to, they were showing clips, and they showed your favorite clip when he had the Money in the Bank and he was holding like a boombox. They showed one match where he was getting ready to, he was facing MVP and MVP's music, and they look back and Brock's dancing in the ring to MVP's music. I mean,
and I'm going to tell you, when we sat there and said Brock in the Bank, I said, how much you want to bet next week he comes out and that briefcase has speakers in it?
I don't think it had speakers in it, but he was just holding.
No, that briefcase had fucking speakers in it, dude.
I don't remember that. I remember him holding like a boombox. Well, we got a show. I'm not. It's 10.
I know.
Well, but okay.
So
we'll look at that.
A couple other things to talk about when it comes to Dynamite. Ricky Starks going up against Jericho, first time ever. Ricky Starks is saying legend versus legend.
Yeah, that's he's pushing it there, but maybe future legend he should have said.
I do like that he called that 2 weeks ago he sat there and called them jassholes. And Jericho came out this week and he's like, I'll give you that one. That one's good.
And he had Ruby Soho. What makes me laugh, what pops me every time, because you don't expect it, but he does it every fucking time, is when she comes out, you got Taz, Ruby Soho. He sings. The Taz sings along with the song, Ruby Soho. When they came out to he did.
That's right. Say it again.
Whatever.
They added speakers to the fucking Money in the Bank.
When Hook came out, they were like, yeah, he's so aggressive and he's not in a good mood and he's aggressive. And he comes out, they're like, we don't know where he gets that from. He goes, yeah, I know, you should meet his mother. Taz has some good ones, but Ruby Soho came out with Nightingale, and they went against Anna JAS and Ty Conti and
Tay Bello.
They should the wrong team won that match.
Tay wins. No, I think that the reason why they won that match was because they want to extend the feud. But on top of that, Tay and Anna Jay are a legit tag team. Whereas,
so they're going to try to build there's going to be a team Hell No where they don't like each other. Then they're going to bomb and what was it the bar where they don't like each other. Well, no,
it's not.
Nightingale likes her, Soho's kind of
yeah. It was just, it's two characters coming together trying to beat a tag team, and that should never work. Like, unless it's two main eventers, like The Rock and Austin coming together to take on the New Age Outlaws,
or Shawn and Austin,
or Austin and Mick Foley when they became a tag team, or the Rock and Sock connection, like. The Rock and Sock connection lost to Legacy, or not Legacy, but Evolution.
Yeah.
Now that was a 3-on-2 match, but they lost because they should. Yeah. It's two singles wrestlers.
So you say they're trying to extend that feud. Is Soho going to find somebody else?
No.
They're going to finally get, because the point of it is Soho's trying to get Ty Mello because Ty Mello broke her nose. So eventually they're going to be a one-on-one match. You think?
Yes.
Okay.
And that'll be the end of the feud, and it'll probably be like a baseball bat is fair game match or something, and one of them will swing at the other one's nose. I don't know. I just know that like Tay Mello is not safe in the ring, so Ruby, who used this time to finally get a nose that most women are actually okay with, because before that she was just like flat faced. She better watch out, because she might not have that new nose very long.
Well, she hit her with it. That's the same move she did when she broke her nose. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah. I just wasn't. I wasn't blown away by that whole thing.
So one thing, the Acclaimed rap, when he said something, when he slipped that line in there about him stealing Kurt Angle's wife. Oh my god! They were going hard. They were going. I'm like, oh my god! And he's like, my elbow's better than yours. He said something about.
I wonder whether or not Max Caster has to approve those by Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Was that what's his name? Brodus Clay.
It looked like him. I don't think it was. I know you're talking about.
I think it was Brodus Clay. Was the Macho Man guy?
Not this Brodus Clay is with
NWA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Brodus. He was too big. I mean, that he was not.
I know
The other guy's not big as Brodus.
I don't know.
But that was good. What else happened? Fuck. Did Soraya come out now?
No. We didn't get anything. Jamie Hayter did win her match.
Yeah.
But the main event of the night was match 6 of the Elite versus Death Triangle.
And it started backstage.
And immediately looked like Death Triangle had no chance of winning. Like, I don't care how many times they said Death Triangle is taking them apart and it looks like they're gonna win. Like,
okay, this is another thing. It's way too dangerous. I don't care how many times you've done this move, how safe you are. When he did the fucking angel wing off that stage through that table,
the one wing angel,
yeah, whatever he calls it, he could have broke his fucking, and it looked like he broke his neck the way he fell.
So
that is dangerous. They should have never allowed that to happen.
I'm going to say that if there's one person I am okay with trying to do that move, even through a table, even jumping off, it would be Kenny Omega at this point. Only because he's done the move so many times. And at this point, everybody in Death Triangle has worked with him so often that, like, they practiced it.
That just looks
scary. What I will say, though, is that once again, everything that looked like it was the really, really hurtful, hard, like you're taking a baseball bat with barbed wire to the face. Who did it happen to?
Death Triangle.
And why is it that the Elite never has to deal with that bullshit?
Because the guy say their mouths and then put it on Tony's dick.
Well, I mean, let's be real. It's because they're EVPs, right? Like, they're sitting there going, oh, we'll get these guys over by making them look like they can take anything. And then when the last moment and the last gasp finally happens, one of us finally, like, we didn't even really necessarily win that match because our 3 count happened while he was tapping out. Fucking bullshit, man. It's fucking bullshit. I'm tired of it. I don't like it. I don't like this bullshit. I'm tired of this. Literally, like, the thing that really drives me nuts is the fact that the fucking crowd is just slurping it off the fucking floor. They're sitting there going, let me lick this shit up because the Elite, like, I just want to suck their cock. And I'm tired of it. Like, the Young Bucks aren't that good. They're not the best tag team in the world. FTR is the best tag team in the world. And the problem that we have there is that Tony Khan doesn't want to suck their dick. He wants to have his dick sucked by the Young Bucks.
Yeah. And what's going to happen is FTR's contract's going to go up. Now I'm sure Triple H will love to have that tag team back.
He would love to have them back, but I don't know if you've heard what Dax Harwood has been saying about Road Dogg, but it doesn't look like they're going back to WWE anytime soon.
What the fuck did he say?
He basically said, hey, remember how when we had to go to the 25th anniversary of Raw and we basically took shit from the NWO and the Bullet Club for like 15 minutes? Road Dogg sat there and just brushed me by in the back, and the only person that said thank you was X-Pac.
Oh, that's not bad. I thought you were going to say call him the ass or cuss him out. Or...
So there's another part to that where Road Dogg basically... So there was a tag team gauntlet match on SmackDown at one point where everybody thought that Revival was going to make their debut. Well, the Revival didn't debut during that, so Harwood went to Twitter and started saying, "Oh, you guys, because they were heels. Oh, you guys thought we were all going to show up. You guys think that we'd show up during a dumb gimmick match like that. Like, you guys are full of it, and that's why we didn't show up, and blah, blah, blah. Road Dogg buried them after that.
Okay. But he was a heel doing a heel thing on Twitter, which is what I thought they wanted them to do, is keep that
I agree.
persona up.
And that's what he said. But he didn't discuss it with them first, so they weren't okay with what he said.
Jesus Christ!
And no, you're absolutely right. But this is why he thinks even Road Dogg, who was an NXT mainstay, suddenly was like, yeah, send them up to the main roster. Let Vince sit there and take them and, get ready to dump them. Like, so I don't know where, like.
But I think Triple H has the final say, and I think while
Road
Dogg are best friends,
he does.
But I think that he should be able to see. Well, I would hope he would be able to see past that and see business. Remember, business is.
You're 100% right.
I hope he won't be that petty.
Triple H won't be.
Yes. Triple
H will do everything he can to get a tag team that he built up in NXT to be as good as they are back in the WWE. Because imagine the marquee of Usos versus the Revival.
Yes. But you think Road Dogg's going to talk him out of it?
No, I think that they might not want to sign contracts if they know that he is one of the creatives in charge of their career. And they're not wrong for thinking that.
So you think Road Dogg will be that petty?
I think with a lot of stuff that I've seen Road Dogg saying about, like, Bret Hart isn't the greatest wrestler of all time, and this guy isn't as good, and this guy isn't where, like, and obviously it's because he's doing a podcast, and
obviously because
he's got to be a little more controversial.
No, he didn't get past mid-card. I think about jealousy has a lot to do with it.
He was never gonna. He got further than anybody else in his family.
Yeah.
The Armstrongs were jobbers.
But saying people like Bret Hart's not that good. Bitch, Bret Hart was main event. You were mid-card. Upper mid-card. FTR would probably still surpass him. Now the New Age Outlaws was a good tag team, but they're not FTR.
No, I agree with you. In fact, if I were Dax and Cash, I'd sit there and say, if we get Daddy Ass, I want to run against the New Age Outlaws, and I want them to put us over.
Yeah.
Which we saw the last time the New Age Outlaws came back. They looked all right.
I don't think Road Dogg's got any more. Billy Guns and
Road Dogg was gassed even back then. Yeah. But Daddy Ass,
Billy can so go.
He'll just do everything, and then Road Dogg will sit there and do that, like, and he'll get on the mic. That's perfectly fine. Hell, bring in Daddy Ass with his young ass boys in WWE, and yeah, absolutely. I don't know.
I would love to see, and I know it won't happen. I love to see Enzo come back.
Not in WWE.
No, or even if he went to AEW.
I don't want to see him at all. Like, and I'm not even upset with the fact that like what the allegations were or anything. He's the definition of going into business for yourself.
He's a talker, though.
He's the definition of going into business for yourself. Now, a couple names that have recently come up, and you know what? Let's finish with Dynamite. Dynamite. Right now, I'm gonna say I hate this best of 7 thing. I hate it. Fucking hate it. Fucking hate it. Fucking hate it. The fact that like AEW fans, and when I say fans, I'm talking about that elitist fan, the top 10%, like that they sit there and they cheer and they're like elite, 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 all that bullshit. knowing that these guys are only in it for themselves when they, as executive vice presidents of a company, need to look out for everybody.
Yep.
The fact that they are only doing it for themselves and taking up a quarter of the number one program that their show runs every week. Because they're tight.
Thank you.
Now, granted, you can say that that's because it's 6 guys wrestling in the ring or whatever you want. The fact of the matter is that they're taking up time from guys like Miro, who everybody has said this guy should be a main event caliber guy.
Yep.
But where is he? Not even on fucking TV. Bryan Danielson has to wrestle in the first match or the second match of the fucking night.
No, the main event last night
Was it not Death Triangle versus
No.
It wasn't?
No, it was Joe and Wardlow.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
I was disappointed in that because while
Let's talk about that match.
We'll talk about the match. We'll talk about how he was doing the interview. And when Wardlow was doing the interview, Joe came and hit him in the knee, so we weren't even sure he was going to come out. So he went through that whole match.
That's the babyface thing.
So and he worked the match. We all know Joe beat him.
Mm-hmm.
He was about to go to him with a chair, and then Darby's music hits.
Well, first I want to start off by he cut off Wardlow's
forgot about that. Yeah.
ponytail. Thank God. Because you know me, I hate man buns.
Not really a man bun.
I mean, it was
a little bit of ponytail. It was not a man bun. Anyway.
Cut it off. He ain't got it no more.
Yeah.
The Darby thing. 108 pounds soaking wet. I have to hit you in the back with my fucking skateboard.
So, and I got a feeling I know where it's going with this. And
Darby's going to win the Ring of Honor
title.
title.
I don't agree. So, Wardlow can't beat you. Well, of course, you can. He took his knee out. But Darby Allin's going to beat you.
Well, like I said, it'll probably be for the Ring of Honor.
No, it'll be for that TNT championship. Because I got a feeling when they get the first of the year, when he gets the whatever deal he's claiming he's got for ROH, Joe will be on that more than he'll be on AEW. Because I think he's going to try to keep his ROH people.
I like how Joe's calling himself like the king of TV. I like that. It's not as good as Night Night. Like when he was in WWE and he was telling everybody they're gonna go Night Night.
I love that. I forgot about that.
I love Night Night, man. Like the fucking t-shirts and everything. Night Night. You know, like I loved it.
He was
Night Night AJ.
He said AJ's kid, Daddy's going Night Night.
And then he read the story and it's like, and that's when we said Night Night AJ.
Daddy's going Night Night.
If Darby ends up beating Samoa Joe, it'll be because the lights go out and Sting comes back.
So Samoa Joe won't go Night Night?
Oh, Samoa Joe will go Night Night because he'll get the Scorpion Death Drop. And then the coffin drop right afterwards, which, you know, fine, whatever. I'm so tired of 106-pound Darby Allin actually winning matches. I would be much happier. Okay,
you gotta have small guys. Ray wins matches when he was younger. It doesn't matter. He's 106 pounds too.
He's 175 pounds.
Oh, excuse me.
Which, by the way, is still more weight than Darby Allin has. Darby Allin literally, dude, he's not believable. I was going to say unbelievable, but that sounds like a positive thing. He's not believable. Okay. He literally, I mean, his arms are thinner than mine. He has no weight to him at all. And his finishing move is, I'm going to hit you with my literal skeleton like this. Like, what would that do? It's like, oh, I just hit you with a chicken.
I want you to lay on the floor, and I'm going to drop 170 pounds across your chest and stomach.
I'm not a 300-pound guy like Joe.
You still, if you're not expecting, I'm 300 pounds, and Matthew fucking hits me with something that much, it's going to knock my breath away.
Man, you would slap that kid, and he'd fly across the air.
Once I got my breath back. That's the thing.
Dude, I'm telling you, when you're talking about professional wrestling, like, Ethan Page should never lose a match to Darby Allin. Ever.
Why?
Because when you look at the two of them, there is no reason why this little guy who has to bring a skateboard down to the ring can beat this guy who actually has all the skills in the world.
And we go back to my comment about the Giant Killer. There's no reason he should have beat the Giant. There's no reason Ray should have beat Kevin, Nash.
Did he beat Kevin Nash?
Yep.
Are you sure?
And that Giant Killer face, yes, he did.
How long after the lawn dart did that happen?
He beat Nash. Matter of fact, he beat Scott Norton, too. He beat Norton.
Everybody beat Scott Norton back then, man.
He beat the Giant.
Like, I love Scott Norton, but everybody beat him.
My point is, you're saying Darby's too small and should be beating bigger guys, is what you just said.
I did, and I'm right.
And well, then Ray should say the same for Ray. We should say the same for Ray. If you're going on that logic.
Hold on. All right. Darby doesn't use speed to his advantage like Ray did.
He does.
Not nearly like Ray did.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
No, he does. That's all he's got. He doesn't have strength. He's got to have to use his speed.
Dude, he sits there and he sits there and throws fists. Ray doesn't throw fists. Darby sits there and does this. And if Darby were going up against Keith Lee right now, he'd beat Keith Lee. And we'd sit there and go, the fuck was that all about?
Because his fucking sternum's broke.
So, Rampage tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Orange Cassidy. Kip Sabian said he deserved a match against Orange Cassidy. And then all of a sudden, Trent Beretta looks at him and goes, well, if we're going by your logic, I threw you out of the thing after you threw him out of the thing, so I actually deserve. And Orange Cassidy just says something and goes,
he's right.
He's right.
Trent
gets the match.
And Trent's like, are you sure? You sure about that?
Yeah. Trent's like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, I'm good. And it's like, now I want to see Trent Beretta win that match. I want to see. Won't happen.
So who came? It was Wheeler Yuta stepped up to Swerve, and they're fighting.
Yeah, on Rampage.
Yeah.
And of course it was like this. It was. I heard what you said about all that, and I don't like it. The Blackpool Combat Club is all about beating up people, so I'll take you down.
Like that, but okay.
It's pretty much how he said it.
That's not how he said it.
I mean, that's his voice.
That's not his voice.
Are you sure? I've been working on my impression of Wheeler Yuta.
Let's wrap this shit up. You got anything else? You started to say something about people coming back or rumors or something.
Yeah. So rumor.
AEW.
No. WWE rumor. One Chelsea Green.
Oh yeah, that's been a rumor forever.
Shut down her OnlyFans account
because she don't want to be Mandy Rose.
No, because she wants to be a wrestler.
That's what I'm saying. She don't want them to say anything to her.
Which, by the way, Dave Meltzer came out this week and said that we're gonna do this. Dave Meltzer came out this week and said that Mandy Rhodes, don't feel bad for her because by the time Christmas is over, she'll have made $1 million in 12 days.
Yes.
Her 12 days of Christmas were $1 million.
Anybody else in the chat, they shut up and leave.
No, we still just have Chris Barrett talking about Christmas movies. But the rumor now is that in the Royal Rumble, and Matt Cardona,
I was say how long until he comes,
has been posting stuff that's like Zack Ryder stuff for like a month. So,
but does he come back as Zack Ryder?
But
he can't use Matt Cardona, so he's good.
He totally can use Matt Cardona. He owns that.
I know, but WWE, then we discussed this.
But Cody Rhodes came back as Cody Rhodes. So first of all, do I think he's trolling the internet?
Yes.
Yes. Do I think he could come back in the Royal Rumble? Yes. So is he trolling the internet? Yes. Still, yes. He just had a hell of a match against Bully Ray.
Did you see that too? That Devon was supposed to be there, and they thought he had it cleared, and Triple H like, nope. Pretty much, if you go, you're fired because he didn't clear it.
Well, he did clear with John Cone.
Yes, but it didn't go any higher.
But then Bruce Pritchard,
that asshole,
basically said, you didn't clear it with me. And then he went to Triple H, and Triple H was like, yeah, we can't have that. Now,
they thought he was going to get physical, but they were like, they want to make sure.
It wasn't just that. It was that they were talking about how someone who worked for the WWE should not be at this show specifically because they were living off the branding and everything of ECW.
Oh.
So they had a legal reason behind it, and I'm okay with that. I think it's right? I don't know. But remember when they did ECW One Night Stand, and then like a week before that there was that to the extreme thing where it had almost all the same people.
Yeah.
But their contracts with WWE didn't start until One Night Stand.
Yeah.
That's what they want to avoid. They don't want to all of a sudden have all these people showing up that, and Devon is a producer at WWE.
Yeah.
He's also got a lot of health issues right now. So they're helping him get through his health issues. And then he wants to sit there and show up at this other show. And they're using it by basically saying, we're taking it to the extreme in Philadelphia at the ECW arena. Like they're using the words and everything that WWE like has a problem with. So I totally get it. And it would be like me working for Big Pharma Company 1, and then all of a sudden like Big Pharma Company 2 sits there and says, hey, could you come and not talk about your product, but talk about our product. And you basically get told, hey, you can't do that. You know, like, so I'm okay with that. I don't like that he was approved by a talent relations guy and then turned down by somebody higher than talent relations. And then when it got to Triple H's hands were tied because he's right. You really shouldn't do that. If it was just like WrestleCade, no reason why Devon wouldn't be allowed to show up. You know, like if Devon's not doing anything for WWE that weekend, there's no reason why they wouldn't let him show up. You know, I mean, Ron Simmons showed up, right? So it sucks, but at the same time, I get it. Last thing I'll ask you, because I know you're ready, you're done, and we're at the 2-hour mark. Who do you think could show up in the Royal Rumble? You normally get 3 crazy names that show up, both men's and women's.
We've already talked about Cody. We've already talked about Chelsea. Depending on when that next pay-per-view is, I wouldn't be surprised if Mickie James comes because she's on this.
She was in last year's.
Yeah, so she's got this match with for the Impact Championship with Grisham's wife.
Well, she's in a thing right now where if she loses,
so that's
she's out.
Yeah, so that's her next match is for the Impact Championship. So if she loses, she's out. So I'm wondering if she loses, she has to retire. It's her last rodeo, and she shows up to WWE.
I think she could show up in WWE as a Hall of Famer in that situation. I think if she's going to lose that match, then she's going to hold firm to her. I'm done.
I think in the Royal Rumble, you talk about people who aren't in WWE.
Yes.
When's the last time we saw Miro? Is he still on the contract?
Yeah, he is. They literally just posted something that said, Miro, happy birthday, blah, blah, blah.
I'm still thinking FTR. I know you said no, but
well, they're still under contract.
I thought it was up. I thought they were close to being up.
Aren't they still the Ring of Honor champions?
They lost to two. They lost.
Oh, they lost to Briscoes.
And they got their AAA tag team belts are up for grabs at another paper. I think they're in the process of losing all their belts.
I mean, I do think that there is a probability that they go back to WWE. Don't get me wrong, because I know that they've got a good working relationship with Shawn, and I know that they've got a good working relationship with Hunter.
Kind of thing. Who would come back? Who would come? Oh, Mickey's husband,
Nick Aldis.
Yes,
I think that that's a high probability. I think that as long as he's treated well, he will do everything the company asks for. And I think it's time that he actually finally made it to the big time. So yeah, he'd be a good one. I would you know who I think? 10.
Yeah, because he has been in AEW for a minute. Okay.
And how about Billy Kay?
Bring them both back. Why not?
Peyton's pregnant.
I almost would think they should.
I'm disappointed. Don't get me wrong.
I think they should bring back Deonna Purrazzo. I think she's done her. She's improved greatly.
She has, and she obviously was someone that Triple H liked. Because obviously, I mean, they brought her into NXT like 3 times. I think that you'll probably see her end up in AEW just because her best friend is there.
Who?
Britt.
Deonna's person? Mm-hmm. But her husband's still working with her at Impact too, so he probably come too. When's the last time we saw any of the fucking Undisputed Era?
Yeah, so I've been Adam Cole and who apparently did he show up at Rampage not this week but last week?
I didn't know that. I didn't see him. Fish has been on fucking Impact, so I don't know if he'll come.
He has, but he's not under contract.
Oh, okay.
O'Reilly is the interesting one, but I think because Roderick Strong has been held off of NXT TV as long as he has, that we could see the Undisputed Era showing up without Adam Cole, because Adam Cole, Tony Khan said he's under a 5-year deal.
Damn.
And
so you think it'll be a DX kind of thing when Sean left? Roddy's going to run the UE?
No, I think Kyle O'Reilly's going to be the one that they want to
really.
Dude, if you look at how they pushed them, Kyle O'Reilly was the one that went up against Finn Balor for the world title in NXT.
So you think it'll be the Red Dragon and Roddy?
I do. Okay. And I think that they start in NXT.
So don't get pushed yet.
No, it would be a push.
Well, I'm in the main roster.
I mean, just think about like New Year's Evil, and all of a sudden, Red Dragon and Roddy show up, and they take down the guy that brought down Diamond Mine and whatever, and they finally get to be baby faces in NXT.
The guy that brought down Diamond Mine, put him in there too?
No, the guy that brought them down, like he would go after. They would go after him.
Oh, gotcha.
I could see them just going after Diamond Mine, like you guys beat up Roddy, blah blah blah.
Diamond Mine didn't do it. It was that kid. Because I would kind of like to see fucking
that kid get his ass beat.
No, I would like to see the Creeds kind of have a loose connection with the UE. That'd be interesting. Kind of like when you had that core when Triple H came back with his version of DX. Have fucking the Creeds as that fucking tag. Had them as.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. You know who I think could actually show up at the Royal Rumble this year? That would blow my mind if it actually happened. Ted DiBiase Jr.
I'd rather see.
You heard me, WWE.
Not Ted. Who's the one that?
Curtis Axel.
Yeah, I'd rather see him show up.
Both of them. Like, what if they were number 1 and number 2?
Yeah, I would like for Curtis to come back and have one last run he deserves, and maybe not main event, but a high mid card.
What if they came back with Randy Orton and they did Legacy one more time?
Yeah. Okay. I can live with that.
And you even put Cody Rhodes with them.
Ooh. I can see that.
Imagine and imagine Legacy with Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Ted DiBiase Jr., and Curtis Axel versus
The Bloodline.
The Bloodline.
All right, well.
So with that, folks,
do yours, because you know I've stopped doing yours.
I don't even know what they are anymore. No, I'm kidding. Tino says that he doesn't want to do my social media stuff. So on Twitter, I'm at Potchak. On Facebook, I'm at Rob Potchak. On Instagram, I am Rob Potchak and Rob Potsy Potchak. On TikTok, I'm Rob Potsy Potchak. On YouTube, which you're watching right here, right now, we are youtube.com/Rob Potchak.
Did you say Facebook?
I did.
All right, on Facebook.
I said me because you said me.
Yeah, on Facebook, I'm Tino Gray. My music is Tino R. Gray. My band is Tino Gray and Social Casualties. On Snapchat, I am SC Tino. No, on Instagram, I'm SC Tino.
You don't even know your own shit.
Yeah, no, I'm tired.
Should make them all the same thing.
Twitter machine, I'm HootieFan91. Thank you for watching the show. Please give us a thumbs up and a like this page. Buy our shit. We want to say thank you to Adam's House Cat for the wrestling song, which you can find on Apple Music or iTunes, and it is 99 cents. 99. And until next week, I'm saying goodnight to you. So I'm Tino. This is that raggedy bitch, Rob Potchak.
Damn right.
Until next week.
That's what my little thing.
You should do that next week. Put raggedy bitch.
Those raggedy bitches. I'm gonna do it as soon as we get off of here.
The Raggedy Bitches Show.
Good night, everybody.
The Raggedy Bitches Show.
Everybody wants to be the nature boy.
The Raggedy Bitch. The Raggedy Bitch and Tino. You gotta just see me say Raggedy Bitches Show. Peace.